When I look back at the last 30 years of my life and I think about what's had the most impact on me, what's shaped my way of living, it's definitely my diet and the foods that I eat. So I want to talk about in this video literally the diet that changed my life. And that diet is comprised of mostly one ingredient foods, as I like to call them. Now, what is a one ingredient food, you may ask? A one ingredient food is as simple as it sounds. A food with one ingredient: sweet potatoes, one ingredient; chicken, one ingredient; beef, broccoli, everything you can think of that is in its natural form, or at least close to it. Now, a lot of people ask me, how do I clean up my diet? How do I get started? And what I tell them is anything that's ultra processed in your cabinet, in your house, throw it away. Like quite literally, that's the simplest way to start. Throw away all the BS with the ingredient list that you can't pronounce, that you know is wrecking your health, or you may not know. Most likely it is, but these things are created in labs by chemists and scientists to get us addicted. That is their end goal, and it's just not good. You don't want processed foods in your diet too often. And the sad reality is that most Americans, majority of their diet or a large part of it is ultra processed foods. Whether that be because they're accessible, they're cheap, but it's robbing your health. It's robbing you of good health. And I think it's our birthright as humans to be able to eat nourishing, delicious food. And it doesn't have to be boring just because it's one ingredient. So in the past 30 days, I've grown about 35,000 new followers on Instagram because I just decided, let me share what I've been doing for the past 4 or 5 years and the way I've been eating and how this diet, I don't even like to call it a diet. It's not a diet, it's a lifestyle. How this lifestyle has changed my life for the better. Now, around 2018, 2018, I just graduated college. I graduated in 2017, went to a 4-year university on a basketball scholarship. And as an athlete, I ate whatever I wanted. Pizza, burgers, you know, cake, candy, all the Pop Tarts, all the sugary, cheap stuff that college athletes and students eat. I was eating all of it without many repercussions, really, in the short term. I was 19, 20, just like doing whatever I wanted. So, that lifestyle wasn't sustainable, and I didn't even realize it because I thought I was doing okay. I was relatively conscious about what I was eating. If I was in the cafeteria, I would always try to just get protein, carbs, and veggies. And thinking back on it, I didn't even really try to do that. I wasn't thinking literally protein, carbs, veggies. I was just thinking what's plain, because I don't want the extra sauce and all that. I've been picky my whole life. And so that I ended up getting just like burger patties, broccoli, and rice. That is what I would have for lunch. And it's so ironic that I'm eating that way now, pretty close to it, because back then it was really just to avoid all the nasty stuff that I was picky about. But now I season my food up, and it's simple. It's for the same example, it's like beef, ground beef, broccoli, and rice. So I say all that to say, as a kid, super picky, super picky. Wouldn't eat anything with sauce. I got my pizzas plain, no sauce. Even in college, I got pizzas with no sauce, just cheese and pepperoni. And I used to get criticized by whether it be my peers or my family members. It was seen as ungrateful to not want to eat what society just gives you. I didn't want to eat that. I didn't want sauce and all this extra stuff. And my family's Caribbean, so when I was in New York visiting my family there, they were not having it. They were like, who is this kid? Like, what do you, basically, who do you think you are, like, turning down this food? But I always stuck by it. I was like, yo, I just don't like this. Y'all ain't about to force me to be uncomfortable and have this unpleasant experience, and I know I don't like it. Now, there were times where I tried things and I might have changed my mind, but that was rare. Now, as I got older, my palate changed and I was open to new flavors and stuff. But it's still the same pretty much. Like, I still do not like those ultra processed sauces and all this just like super flavored chips and sour cream and onion. I don't like that stuff to this day. So in that way, it's like my soul knew the way I needed to eat, even as a child. So if you feel like an outcast in any way in your family or your friend group because you want to stay away from certain things, don't feel discouraged. Just know that your intuition, your soul actually knows what you need. Now, uh, around 2018, to go back to the beginning of my point, that's when I started like experiencing this acne. I was getting like a bunch of bumps on my forehead, really just on my forehead. It was like those, that textured skin all over my forehead constantly. And I didn't know what it was. It made me feel super insecure, like it would most people, having acne. And luckily it was just on my forehead, but still, there was a root cause that I didn't understand. I was trying to get to the bottom of it and I didn't know. I thought it was skincare or I need to pick new products. What is it? Do I need to get this facial cleanser or this moisturizer? I didn't know. Because in college, I didn't have a skincare routine. I was a college kid. I didn't care about that. And social media wasn't as prevalent as it is today, where you have all this access to information and all these young kids that are so advanced as far as like taking care of themselves, have the skincare routine, have the lifestyle and diet locked in. It wasn't like that back then, around like 2012. You had some YouTubers like, into fitness and, cleaner diets, but it was, for the most part, it was pretty unheard of. So eventually I began to clean my diet up. I would, just like try to eat cleaner, basically, like as in meal prep a bunch of chicken, a bunch of rice, a bunch of broccoli, and that would be my meals through the week. And have fruit. I was eating in the morning. I was eating my oatmeal and fruit for breakfast, and maybe have some eggs. So I was on the path of conscious eating, and I was still into fitness, even as a then retired college athlete. I I later on went on to play with the Harlem Globetrotters, but we'll get into that later. Um, so as a retired college athlete, I was still taking fitness serious. I was still lifting weights and wanted to feel good and strong. So with that, I would have my protein shakes and I was taking creatine and just being more conscious about what I ate. But I found out later on that the root cause of that acne was my sugar consumption, and not fruit sugar, processed refined sugar, cane sugar, stuff that's found in your regular peanut butters you would get at the store, or just cookies. I was just eating cookies, and I would have like McFlurries from McDonald's every once in a while, like just whatever, even like a Jamaican beef patty. That bread has refined sugar in it. It may not be like a huge amount, but it's enough to cause some skin issues, especially if you're a sensitive person like me. So, just the more I learned, I began to cut it out more, just have less sugar, less sugar. And, over time, my skin would clear up. But I really never stopped eating sugar until like 2021, the end of 2020. Well, yeah, the end of 2020, because I went on to try a plant-based lifestyle around like 2019. And then I was still dealing with the skin problems, even though my diet was super clean. I was super intentional about everything I put in my body. So, as I learned more about a plant-based lifestyle, which was a beautiful experience, I cut out processed foods. I wouldn't really eat that many processed foods. Now, because the plant-based lifestyle still doesn't have certain minerals and nutrients in it that you get from animal products, I was still craving certain things. So I was still loving my chips and, just like some cookies and stuff. I still love the processed stuff. So, I was super clean with my plant-based veganism, but still had those indulgences of processed food, which isn't ideal. And that was still causing these bumps and messing with my confidence, really. So it wasn't until around end of 2020, 2021, when I went cold turkey. I started working with this nutritionist, and he introduced me to a new way of thinking about diet and lifestyle, and how meat is not bad. It's about the type of meat you're eating, where it comes from. You know, is it from regenerative farming? Is it organic, pasture raised? All of these buzzwords that we hear, these are real things. So the more I tapped into that, my skin cleared up. I wasn't getting acne anymore. I wasn't having these blemishes all the time. And I also cut out refined sugar. And when I first started working with him, I wasn't eating any sugar. I wasn't even having fruit. I was having like just pomegranate seeds and yeah, nothing high sugar at all, not even natural sugar. And then as I ate more fruit and stuff like that, I wasn't having the refined sugar cravings like I did before. And it's about the one ingredient foods. Everything I was eating, moving forward, one ingredient. Even if it's a fruit with sugar, it's one ingredient. Pomegranates, one ingredient. Blueberries, one ingredient. All the grains I was eating, one ingredient. All the meat I was eating, one ingredient. All the vegetables. So my meals now, they're comprised of around 35% animal protein, 40% carbs, which would be like my rice or my quinoa, sweet potato, black rice I love, and then 25% vegetables, whether they be lightly steamed or completely cooked vegetables. Excuse me. And my veggies are like usually broccoli or carrots and cauliflower and Brussels sprouts, asparagus, anything green really, and avocado. I really add I add avocado to most of my meals. Avocado, that's my favorite food, arguably, just because I add it on everything. And a lot of olive oil. Um, you know, I haven't been on the supplements lately, as far as like the vitamins and minerals. Never any steroids or anything like that. I've never tried a steroid, never would. It's not my move. That's not my style. No judgment to anybody who does, just not for me. And I take creatine now. Creatine, magnesium are basically the only two supplements I'm taking at the moment. But I've experienced taking like 20 up to 20 supplements at one time, you know, like throughout the week. And you know, lately I just haven't been on that. I haven't, because I get a lot of my nutrients and stuff from food. And you can do that too. You just have to focus on eating one ingredient foods. And I like to say, find 10 foods that you love and that you can rotate, you can juggle them. So for me, I'll give you an example. Avocado, obviously, chicken, beef, clean fish, sardines, salmon, cod, wild caught, make sure it's wild caught, eggs. So that's a bunch of proteins right there. And not the avocado, but that's my proteins. And then we got the vegetables. I already named a bunch of vegetables. And we got sweet potatoes. We have brown rice, wild rice. You can do jasmine rice if you want to. I personally don't really eat white rice, but you know, there's to each their own. And to go more into that, to each their own, there's no one size fits all when it comes to the foods you consume. For one person, sweet potatoes might be entirely too much sugar for them, and they're not active enough to burn that off. But for me, someone who's an athlete, plays a lot of basketball, does a lot of calisthenics, lifts a lot of weights, you know, gets a lot of cardio in, I need that fuel. That fuels my workouts. I eat a lot of dates, a lot of medjool dates. It's nature's candy, I like to call it. Some people may not, it might be too much sugar for them also. For me, I burn that off. But if I indulge too much in something like that, that's very high in sugar, then I will get blemishes. So even good sugar, you can have too much of. Always remember that as well. Um, so again, it's those one ingredient foods that you focus on, that help you thrive, that curb the cravings. Because anytime you're craving something, it's either emotional or it's because you're not getting nutrients from the rest of your food. You're not getting the proper nutrients that you need. A lot of times it's emotional though, let's be real. You want your comfort foods. You want a food that reminds you of a certain feeling. A lot of times if we want something sweet, it's because we're craving love and affection and connection from another person. So keep in mind that your emotions are heavily connected to the foods that you crave. And again, it's not a one size fits all. For some people, they may want to live a plant-based lifestyle. That's not for me anymore, personally, but some people are committed to that, and it doesn't matter what you say to them, they want to live a plant-based lifestyle. And I say more power to them, because I've seen people thrive on a plant-based lifestyle. Personally, I don't think you thrive as much as your potential holds, but there's so many people who live a long, healthy, purposeful lifestyle while eating plant-based. So I have no judgment over that. I'm not into dogma either way. Like, there's no one way to eat. I don't think you should judge people based on how they want to eat. If they want to be vegan, if they want to be carnivore or whatever. I'm not somebody who's into extremism when it comes to a sustainable lifestyle. So to me, plant-based is extreme. If you look at the history of humanity and the way we've evolved and the foods that we've eaten over the last thousands and thousands of years, the populations that thrive the most are ones that eat animal products. And it doesn't mean they're carnivore and they just eat raw meat and liver and a bunch of red meat, but they do eat a certain amount of animal products. So keep that in mind. I'm not telling anybody what to do, ever. Don't ever think that. But I want you to know the information. It's like it's plain as day. If you look back at all of these civilizations and stuff, they all eat some type of animal products at some capacity. So just do your own research. Do your research on fasting as well. I'm a big proponent of fasting. I think it's a powerful rejuvenative. Is that a word? Rejuvenative. Yeah, it helps rejuvenate the cells in your body. And this squirrel's coming up to me. It helps rejuvenate the cells in your body, and yeah, it just sheds those dead cancer cells and stuff. So yeah, look into fasting. That's a big part of a healthy lifestyle. Yeah, but my whole thing is one ingredient foods put you in a better mood. Whatever way you want to turn it, whether it be a carnivore diet or a keto diet or pescatarian or paleo or vegan, focus on those one ingredient foods, but also find the balance. And that's the thing with extreme diets. There's not really a balance. You can find some type of balance, but there's usually not that much balance within those diets or ways of eating. So focus on one ingredient foods, find balance, and you will feel better. You will find the underlying issues behind, whether it be skin problems or brain fog, fatigue, mood issues. Your diet and rest can heavily be linked to depression. I heard a saying, it's like you're not depressed, you just need deep rest. I think Jim Carrey also said something like that. He was like, if you're depressed, that just means you needed. I think that's what I just said, isn't it? It's like you need to be depressed because something about the way you're living is not real. Almost, it's like you're wearing a mask, and your soul needs a deep rest and a reset. So just know that our diet is heavily connected. Our diet is heavily connected to our mood and the way we see the world, and you have to be sleeping well as well. So at this point, I'm rambling. I've been working with people, helping them get a cleaner, healthier lifestyle, feel better, be happier. So if you'd like to work with me one-on-one, just shoot me a DM on Instagram. You can follow me at Troy Blyden. Like I said, I've grown around 35,000 new followers in the past 30 days, which is incredible. I'm super grateful. And that's just proof that this message is powerful and it's changing people's lives. It changed my life for sure. That's why I titled this video what I did. This is the diet that changed my life. It quite literally changed my life. And it's not just a diet, it's a lifestyle. So do not listen to anybody who tells you there's only one way to eat. This is not a one size fits all. If you work with me, we will figure out the foods that work for you, you know? And there's so many one ingredient foods that can help us thrive. It's just about finding the ones and dialing in the ones that work with your genetic makeup, the chemistry within your body. I've found the ones for me, and it's an ongoing process. You know, these things change based on, you know, how active you are, your lifestyle. So if you would like to work with me, you know, that'd be awesome. So shoot me a DM on Instagram at Troy Blyden. You can also purchase my lifestyle guide that I created. It's only $11 right now. It's on troyblyden.com, and this is where I go over the 30 pillars of a healthy lifestyle and the lifestyle choices that I have made over the past 5 years that have, again, changed my life for the better. And the first 10 are about nutrition. The next 10 are about fitness. I'm a heavy person in calisthenics and body weight exercises. So, you know, I go over certain workouts and, you know, tools that you can use in your fitness journey, how to get started. And then the last 10 is about mindfulness and practices like breath work and meditation that I've been practicing as well that have helped me along this journey. And remember that it's like a triangle, you know? So we got diet and nutrition, we got fitness, and then we got mindfulness. And they all have to be there to connect, you know, to make basically your dream reality come true. So with that, I'm going to end with one ingredient foods put you in a better mood. Talk to you soon. Much love. Peace.